Genuine superheroes don't wear spandex leggings, I think, music. What Desmond shows is what I view as the most moving, and I comprehend that it's the other domain fighting, and I accept that that is something undeniable. And I've made strides any place I can, to similar to I get up each day. And I understand I'm not in charge of this entire thing. And regardless of what happens, I simply request the effortlessness to have the option to manage it. So they took Polaroids on me, slapped them on the board. And they expressed return 3 weeks when you recuperate up. So I returned 3 weeks. And they said okay, and I expressed I'm here. And they said, well, who are you, all of us? Our youthful adolescence, truly God. I think the typical age was like 19. Yet again, they were partitioned into organizations at 50. And they all had a CO. Mel Gibson is known for his striking and firm position inside Hollywood, and his expectation from 1998 about its clouded side has all the earmarks of being at last happening first opportunity. I truly came here, you realize I had an entire pack of bizarre, distrustful doubts about what on earth was continuing, and no one was truly trying to clarify it for me, they don't. And I shaped a lot of sentiments about the town Mel proceeded to discuss what individuals did in the background that totally stunned him, and about individuals in it that resembled definitely, that couldn't be the entire spot, can't resemble, they tell you don't go to the house on the slope. And it's like that, and afterward you disappear. And you think no, that is I was off base, I imply, that is crazy reasoning, I'm neurotic Mel, would likewise proceed to specify how the vast majority in the business keep quiet out of dread of public embarrassment. Yet he doesn't mind any longer, might you at any point figure out later on the track that you are precisely on target with a ton of this stuff, that is a portion of your most dreaded fears were genuine, when you think number one trepidation is public embarrassment. Oak. I don't give a __. Any longer. He grabbed the media's eye when he transparently communicated his well-established antipathy for an industry that all the while celebrated and scrutinized him at 67 years of age. Gibson believed that the whole Hollywood hardware worked like a puzzling internal sanctum, shrouded in mystery and interest obviously. His steadfast position has won him a ton of help from the public. One individual brought up a new case, and how Russell Brand is currently seeking the Trump therapy for truth-telling, as is Mel Gibson, and any other individual who has been sufficiently strong to misbehave by questioning or declining to follow the liberals' power-snatching stories, while this individual clarified that Mel was a legend, a splendid class from an old film that reverberates with so many all over the planet right now. Mel is our legend in numerous alternate ways, additionally helping the children ladies, and this individual featured how individuals who frequently opposed the state of affairs just so ended up getting denounced for it. MJ cautioned individuals about the mysterious Signet. O'Connor cautioned individuals about the Pope. Mel Gibson cautioned individuals about Hollywood's nauseating clouded side. There are more models, I'm certain. Yet those are the three that promptly struck a chord as of late. Mel Gibson's plain evaluate of Hollywood has reemerged, reigniting conversations about his unfaltering perspective, a name inseparable from both artistic brightness and debate. Gibson stood out as truly newsworthy by openly supporting the sound of opportunity, this movie, zeroing in on the troubling truth of Kid, and motivated by the existence of previous DHS specialist Tim Ballard, confronted extreme examination from the media, marking its promoters as jumpy trick scholars anyway. It means a lot to take note of that sometime before the ascent of Quanon and its fear-inspired notions. Gibson had consistently communicated worries about Hollywood. The class we showed before, for instance, are from a 1998 meeting that has reappeared, displaying the entertainers' initial doubts about Tinseltown's perplexing functions. Gibson sincerely conceded first opportunity. I came here, you realize, I had a lot of odd suspicious doubts about what in blazes was going on in light of the fact that there was a ton of stuff I was unable to comprehend. And no one was truly trying to clear up it for me. Furthermore, the Braveheart star added, you know, peculiar town. You know where the more interesting meanders in. And everyone individuals are in the bar. And they generally shut up when he takes a gander at them. And they tell you don't go to the house on the slope, like Gibson's words expressed in 25-year prior act has an unmistakable and persevering through update that even inside the sparkling universe of showbiz, there are voices able to divulge the disguised real factors behind the Hollywood exterior. The resurgence of this video interview matching with the arrival of the sound of opportunity highlights the enduring pertinence of Gibson's interests about media outlets thinking about how Hollywood both raised and reprimanded him. It seems Gibson is actually the perfect individual to bet on for experiences into its hazier viewpoints in 1996 following his great jobs in Braveheart. As essayist, chief maker, and entertainer, Gibson got 2 foundation grants, a zenith in his profession, before a progression of embarrassments unfurled in the post-Braveheart years. Gibson made it on jobs as antagonists, move legends, jokesters, and tempters. Making monetary progress, however, not basic recognition from the last part of the 1990s to the mid-2000s as Gibson wrestled with liquor-filled explosions that tainted his appearance. He owned up to Asana Grigorieva, the mother of his 8th kid, and was discovered offering hostile comments on tape. In 2006, a beverage driving capture saw him offer enemy of Semitic remarks, caught by a police observation camera, regardless of confronting a critical hit to his standing, not set in stone to recover the spotlight. He acknowledged jobs that came his direction. Even his unmistakable figures in Hollywood wondered whether or not to team up because of his disputable past. Exactly the same thing that happened to Mel Gibson happened to entertainers like John Travolta or Bruce Willis, says Eric Schwartzel, a diversion writer with the Money Road Diary. After enormous achievement, they end up somewhere between traditional and low financial plan creations that exploit their blurring reputation. Gibson's hostile history added further intricacy to his rebound process. By and by it appeared Gibson was not bound for lesser ventures. Everlastingly numerous spectators in Hollywood anticipated his revisitation of high-spending plan creations, potentially with goals for one more shot at an Oscar. In Vulture writer Kevin Lincoln noted, for the perfect individuals, the foundation can be an unquestionably sympathetic pack. In spite of going through a long time in banishment to get away from an expectation, Roman Polanski won Best Chief at the 2003 Oscars. To immense commendation at the function, Gibson had some assistance from a strong companions in his excursion to restoration. Vanity Fair's top to bottom 2011 profile by movie student of history Peter Biskand shed light on the Hollywood characters near Gibson. For example, Jodie encouraged Whoopi Goldberg, Robert Downey Jr., and his deadly weapon accomplice, Danny Glover. They assumed a key part in getting him work a couple of years after his DUI capture. Cultivate areas of strength for a Cass Gibson. In the main job of her mental show The Beaver 2011, communicating her affection for himself and excusing cases of prejudice or Sikhism. Downey Jr. openly looked for mercy for Gibson at a Los Angeles Grand Service in 2011, recognizing the flaws inside the business. He additionally featured Gibson's help during his fight with fixation during his restoration country. The Braveheart star embraced balance and was requested to go to outrage the board treatment in 2012 as a component of his ex-accomplices. The endeavors seemed to take care of in a generally limited capacity. To focus 11 years after his capture, Gibson was selected for Best Chief for Hacksaw Edge at the 2017 Institute Grants, denoting a revisitation of the zenith of acknowledgement. In an article co-wrote by Eric Schwartzel and Ben Fritz, they dove into the subject of why Hollywood decided to pardon Gibson. Cash seemed to assume a critical part, as confirmed by Ari Emanuel, who in the wake of dropping Gibson, following his enemy of Semitic comments, accommodated with him. Solely after Gibson gave a job to another star he addressed, imprint Wahlberg. In the 2022 parody Father Stu Shockingly, the Hashmi 2 development assumed a part in reshaping Mel Gibson's public picture during a 2017 question and answer session for the film Daddy's Home, where he featured close by Will Ferrell and Wahlberg. Gibson was gotten some information about Harvey Feinstein. His reaction resounded, with many given the stunning disclosures about the series who had held huge influence over Hollywood for a really long time. Gibson felt for the people in question and lauded their boldness in standing up, revealing insight into the dim corners of the business. He referenced that it was so difficult to find out about and proposed to affirm against Weinstein in continuous preliminaries, a responsibility he reaffirmed in 2022 anyway. In spite of Gibson's reintegration into Hollywood, a few disturbing parts of his personality have persevered throughout the long term. In a 1991 meeting with LPS, he offered slanderous remarks about gay people. Moreover, during a similar period, when Winona Ryder unveiled her Jewish character to Gibson, he unfeelingly poked fun. At almost 30 years after the fact, Gibson delivered a narrative about his dad, Hutton Gibson,